Breaking! Aussie Wizard stars with game-changing play as Super Bowl rematch locked in. Super Bowl XLIX is locked in. In a rematch of Super Bowl XLIX, which saw the Patriots defeat the Seahawks 28-24, New England and Seattle will face off in what is both teams' first Super Bowl appearance since that 2015 matchup. It comes after the Seahawks outlasted the Los Angeles Rams 31-27 in a high-scoring thriller on Monday, with the Patriots booking their spot in the Super Bowl earlier with a 10-7 win over the Denver Broncos. It means Australian punter Michael Dixon, who came up big with a game-changing punt early in the third quarter to force a fumble that Seattle recovered and later converted into a touchdown, is through to his first Super Bowl. In a matchup between the NFL's best offense and defense, it was always going to be an intriguing battle to see which unit came out on top, and early on, it was the Seattle defense dictating terms. The Seahawks forced the Rams into a quick 3-and-out to open Monday's game and then, after giving up a 44-yard strike to Puka Nacua, restricted Los Angeles to a field goal on its second drive. It isn't as if Seattle's offense is not a strong unit though. Far from it, in fact, with the Seahawks boasting one of the more explosive and efficient passing attacks in the league, and it showed on their first drive of the game as Sam Darnold found speedster Rashid Shaheed for the big gain. That set up Seattle inside the red zone, and while the Seahawks of old had at times struggled to execute in that area of the field, ranking 21st in the league with a 55.38% success rate, the run game had started to find life in recent weeks. And after a 3-touchdown game against the 49ers in the divisional round, Kenneth Walker punched it in to give Seattle a 7-3 lead, and then had a few more key plays as the Seahawks added a field goal. It was a brief glimpse of just what Walker is capable of in a featured role, having previously split carries with Zach Charbonnet before he tore his ACL in the San Francisco matchup. It was also a chance for Walker to drive up his asking price, with the shifty running back set to become an unrestricted free agent in 2026. Speaking of running backs, it was Kieran Williams who gave the Rams the lead late in the second quarter as he leaked out of the backfield and was left wide open. The Rams could have had even more points after a face mask was missed on a drive earlier in the quarter, with the visitors instead settling for a second Harrison Mevis field goal. While Walker was the engine of the offense, the run game ultimately sets up the big plays through the air, and a tough contested catch from the NFL's leading receiver, Jackson Smith-Njigba, put Seattle in scoring position right before halftime. Darnold then found Smith-Njigba, who broke Seattle's single-season franchise record for receiving yards in late November, in the corner for the touchdown. The former Ohio State standout had 7 catches and 115 yards in the first half alone. Smith-Njigba added another 12 yards to open the second half, but Seattle's first drive stalled after Darnold was sacked on 3rd and 12, leaving Dixon, who had previously been described by Pat McAfee as a wizard, to come on for the punt. But Dixon proved why he is the league's highest-paid punter, signed to a $odd $23 million contract, as a perfectly executed, spiraling punt was muffed by Xavier Smith and recovered by Seattle. That immediately set the Seahawks up in scoring territory, and Darnold found rarely targeted receiver Jake Bobo for the touchdown. Momentum had well and truly swung in the Seahawks' favor at that point, but if the previous 2 one-score games between these two teams, including an overtime thriller in Seattle, were anything to go by, this was far from over. And for a Rams team with so many veteran players on offense, led by Stafford, there was no sense of panic as the 37-year-old found Davante Adams for a chunk gain and then the touchdown. Seattle quickly hit back through a former LA Super Bowl hero in Cooper Kupp, but the seesawing nature of Monday's game continued soon after as cornerback Tariq Woolen had a few minutes to forget. First, he could not reel in a potential interception while on Puka Nacua. But still, it was great defense on the play from Woolen and had the Rams positioned to punt on 4th down. Instead, an unsportsmanlike penalty for taunting gifted a fresh set of downs, and the Rams immediately went back after Woolen as Nacua came down with the catch this time for the touchdown. Fox Sports play-by-play commentator Kevin Burkhardt said it was as bad as it gets from Woolen, while legendary quarterback Tom Brady called a costly mistake. In the end, fortunately for Woolen, It didn't end up being the difference as the Seahawks held on with the Rams passing up a field goal late in the quarter to instead go for it on 4th and 4. Stafford, however, couldn't connect with rookie tight end Terrence Ferguson as the Rams fell short,